Ready Check Radio.
Stand by as we get ready to serve up all your news this week in the world of gaming. Welcome to Gaming Gumbo. What's up, Internet? It's Tuesday at 7:30 Eastern, normally 7 Eastern. That means it's time for Gaming Gumbo, your weekly gaming wrap-up here on Ready Check Radio. I'm your host, Mike Byrne, as always, a.k.a. Magic Man, and we're doing the show live, twitch.tv/ReadyCheckRadio, where we always are. If you're watching on YouTube or listening on Audible, Spotify, or watching on the site, ReadyCheckRadio.com, thank you so much. While you're there, give it a like, a subscribe, a comment, turn the notifications on, all the fun stuff that feeds the algorithms that change without any warning anyway. So just share it around and show up live. Hang out. We've got a lot to talk about today, so let's get right down to it with Mr. Troy Blackburn. What's up, Noob Fridge?
What's up, gentlemen? How are you? How are you doing, Chad? Everybody who's watching on YouTube, appreciate you guys checking out the show.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Troy running home from work to do the show. That's why we're a few minutes late.
I've still got my keys on my pants and everything. Like, I just walked in the door.
We appreciate it. We appreciate it. Also on the line, resident artist of Ready Check Radio, Yod. And
what's up?
Speaking of art, we've got Val in her new Super Nintendo get up here on the overlays, looking snazzy.
Yeah, she has advanced.
yeah, she's 16-bit now. Love the Super Nintendo like holster there on her hip.
Yep. I thought about giving her like the VR headset around her neck too, but it's just so huge and clunky that
the old Virtual Boy.
Yeah, the Virtual Boy.
Yeah, funny. We may talk about that.
Yeah, funny thing about that.
Shit. I know a piece of B-roll I think I forgot to load.
Oh,
damn. I will load it. In an edit screen. Just a brief show note. Remember, as we talked about on last week's show, there will be no Gaming Gumbo for the next 2 Tuesdays. We'll be back with Gaming Gumbo on October 7th. I'll be traveling to and from LA, doing some Final Fantasy TCG North American Championship commentary for Square Enix. That'll actually be live on Square Enix's YouTube channel and their Twitch channel, so please make sure you check it out and throw a little support my way. That'd be great. I appreciate it. The event proper will be day 1, Saturday the 27th, and day 2, Sunday the 28th. If you're following Square Enix's socials, it'll be live like all day here on the East Coast. There's 8 rounds of Swiss on day 1, and then a top bracket and a bottom bracket in day 2 to fill out the rest of the North American FFTCG team. And my son Torchwick qualified, so he will actually be playing there. Yeah, he'll be playing there.
Wow.
Yeah, I topped a number of events, but couldn't finish it off. I finished second like twice and just couldn't get my invite, but he did. The event he topped and went to the final table, the other person already had their invite, so it didn't matter whether he won or lost. He was just like happy to play for the trophy. He was like, let's go. I get the roll down invite because you already have yours. So he'll be flying out to participate. It'll be a lot of fun, but no Gaming Gumbo in the next 2 weeks. We will have the Relic Grind this Thursday. We won't have it the following Thursday, but it will be back as normal. So we'll only miss 1 Relic Grind, but we'll miss 2 Gaming Gumbos. So after today's show, we'll see you on the 7th. Let's get started with the Nintendo Direct. That was kind of the biggest news of the week. And again, the Nintendo Direct's always one of those funny ones, right? Where, and I have to put in the show notes, Troy, don't ignore this because it says Nintendo, because it says console, because Troy isn't like a huge console gamer. Thank you, Gender. I will give him congratulations. Gender Bender Cosplay Gamer. I think I've already commented before, but I absolutely love that name. All right, I'm going to get sidetracked, by the way, by that name.
That is amazing.
Since we're talking about Nintendo, by the way, Gender Bender Cosplay Gamer, the best cosplay I have ever seen in person was a gender bent cosplay. It was a male cosplaying as Samus Aran. It was phenomenal. Like, it was incredible.
What was it? The
cosplay.
Zero suit.
It was the Zero suit. Yeah, it was.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the
I
blue
may have
skin
seen that
tight,
one.
like. And
Right.
it's a Final Fantasy TCG friend of mine. I say friend. He's actually been on this show or on the Relic Grind. Now that I think about it, we had Steve D on for an Opus Legend review, and his cosplay of Samus Aran. I was just like, this is incredible. Like, I am rethinking all of my sexual proclivities at this point because it was absolutely amazing. So anyway, funny about the name. Nintendo Direct, get Troy to pay attention to it because they just have that habit of like coming out for Switch 2 and they kind of avoid the slides that say things are going to be on other platforms. But they are almost all going to be on other platforms. So I figured, let's take a look at some of the specific titles we were all personally interested in. I knew, Yod, the one you were going to put first, so I did not put it in mine, and you did not disappoint. You immediately put it first. So I'm going to go first with one for me, and it is Mario Tennis. We're getting a new Mario Tennis called Mario Tennis Fever. Lou, my younger brother in chat, just got his Switch 2 a day or two ago. Absolutely loving it. My oldest son bought his own Switch 2 like 2 weeks after it launched, has been loving it. I have not pulled the trigger, but there is something in here. There's my other brother now trying to steal my brother's Switch 2. My siblings are fighting in chat. There is something that we're going to talk about in a minute that it's probably going to be time to buy a Switch 2 very soon here. Absolutely stoked for a new Mario Tennis. And Yada comes out on my birthday. So if you want to,
So is it bad that when I saw the preview for this, my first thought was, oh, hey, look, a PvP game primarily that created a PvE that's amazing. It is possible to take a PvP game and make a PvE storyline for it.
There is not only an adventure mode, there is a baby mode where you have to play as the babies and teach them how to play tennis all over again. And it's got online ranked play. And they've added fever rackets, which basically, Troy, seemed to me like I was watching it and there's a meter there and I'm like, huh. The Mario cast now has a limit break. They now have limit breaks. Why not? Sure. I am sorry. I'm such a huge fan of this franchise. It is one of those ones, though, Troy, that it is exclusive to Nintendo. I know you've played some of these over the years. This isn't the series that's going to convince you to buy a Switch 2?
No, I'm afraid not. I do remember playing it playing some tennis and stuff back on the Wii back in the day, but yeah, as far as picking up a Switch 2, yeah, that one's definitely not going to be like, here, you have to own a Switch 2 because tennis is here.
But tennis,
I'm all in favor of it. But tennis, I'm all in favor of it. Yod, what did you have on the list first? We're gonna go there. And again, I purposely did not put this on my list because I knew you were going to take it.
Yeah, obviously the Super Mario Galaxy movie. They did a little teaser preview for it. Apparently, from what I saw on social media, Jack Black will be back as Bowser. He personally confirmed it. So, yeah.
It was kind of cool they announced that for it was like the Switch, the Nintendo Direct took place like the day before Mario's 40th anniversary.
Right.
Of Super Mario Brothers, to be specific. So I thought that was really cool. But yeah, we don't have a release date for this yet. Well, the movie itself is April 3rd, 2026.
Right.
For the Mario Galaxy movie.
I'm assuming the what is it, remasters for Switch 2 for Galaxy and Galaxy 2 games.
Right.
Probably come out about the same time, or did they come out already?
Well, that I don't have a date for.
Okay.
Oh wait, hold on. Now, yeah, I do. It was hidden. My bad. Super Mario Galaxy and Super Mario Galaxy 2 are coming to Nintendo Switch on October 2nd. With Nintendo's promising an improved UI, the option to play with button and stick or motion controls, an in-game music player, storybook content, and enhanced resolution. The Switch 2 version will also support 4K.
It did look pretty.
Troy, did you like anything from this event? There was a lot that was not just exclusively console.
The Dynasty Warriors game, I thought looked really good. I thought that was something that would pique my interest for sure. And watching the trailer and stuff, I was like, "Yep, Dynasty Warriors. Let's do the thing with that." You'll talk about something here in a minute, and I'll share my opinion on that here in a minute. So for my second choice, but yeah, the Dynasty Warriors. That was one of the first ones that made me go, okay, here's some of the things where Mike said, pay attention, because something looked really cool.
I just know you have a tendency. It's like, oh, that's console. I can ignore this, and I'll just chime in with an opinion as we talk about it. Yeah, and then okay, so if you like the Dynasty Warriors series, and Dynasty Warriors Origins is coming on January 22nd, so it's not that far away. What do you think of like the Hyrule Warriors series, which is basically the same damn thing except given a Zelda skin?
I don't know. The Dynasty Warriors, sort of the setting and stuff, sort of draws me.
That's what does it for you. It's not necessarily the gameplay.
Yeah, it's not. The gameplay's fun. Don't get me wrong, but I do like the setting and stuff is what initially brought me into it, and then I discovered what the gameplay was after that. So I will have to say it's the setting and sort of what they've got going on with this fantasy version of these guys.
I have to agree with Troy there, because there is a like pseudo Japanese history fantasy version of it. I think it's like Shogun something.
Well, most of the Dynasty Warriors stuff is Chinese Dynasty stuff.
Right. Dynasty Warriors is Chinese quote unquote history.
Yeah.
It's like a take on the Three Kingdoms, the Warring States period, that type of thing, which is taught as history in China. My mom was taught that as history. But it, like Troy said, the setting itself drew me into it as well, because I played it in I think Dynasty Warriors 3 was the first time I played it.
Oh yeah, well you're talking like PS2, PS3 era then.
Yeah, PS2, yeah. So like the setting itself pulled me in. I tried playing the Japanese setting one, and it just did not pull me in the same way. I don't know what it is. The gameplay is the same.
Troy's kind of nodding along with you. He's like,
yeah.
As soon as we crossed over the water and got to the islands, it was an entirely different story, and I wasn't there for it. Go back to the mainland.
It wasn't the same. It wasn't the
same. Right.
Where's my Lubu?
Where's my Guan Yu? I love the giant staff with the dragon heads, glaive on it.
Next up, one of mine. This was Metroid Prime 4, which I was so delighted to see at the show. We knew we were going to see this one, though. It had kind of been talked about on previous directs, and we were expecting to see some more. Metroid Prime 4. And
Metroid Prime Tron?
Yeah, Tron, basically. This entire trailer is basically Samus and Samus's motorcycle, which is a fantastic new way to get around in the Metroid franchise. And if you're watching it on YouTube here and you can see the trailer, watch some of the moves, because it does expose that the bike is not just transportation. It is also a viable combat option in certain things. But it's a hell of a way to get around town, is what it is.
Yeah, Samus in her armor on a bike. What more could you want?
Yeah. I mean, it looks incredible.
I can tell you what more you want.
No. Don't you knock this down for me. What?
Look at all the bunch of nothing they created to ride the motorcycle around.
Oh, come on. It was a demo of the vehicle itself. Stop.
It's a bunch of nothing. And then when you get into the actual cool stuff,
so she's riding around in the desert
like you normally would.
So she's riding around in the deserts in Dune. What? It happens.
It's a gimmick. It's a gimmick.
You're such a spoil sport.
Right?
Because that's that Metroid was the first one I looked at, actually. It's the first. I was scrolling and I stopped. I was like, okay, Metroid, we gotta watch this. And I was like, okay, a bike. Okay, that's pretty.
And it looks snazzy as hell. I mean, it looks great.
Yeah, I mean, it looks good. And then they're just riding around the desert, and there's like 2 enemies out there. And I'm just like, okay, well, the bike attacks, that's cool, but look at all the nothing.
Says the guy who couldn't wait for Dune Awakening to come out.
And then never played it.
Where else are you going to run into the sandworms? You got to have lots of nothing.
All right, I'm going to turn my character to the north. It's fucking desert. All right, I'm going to turn my character to the south. It's fucking sand. I'm going to turn to the west. Oh, wait, there's a hill. Oh, no, it's just a dune.
There's a hill.
It's just a dune. It's just a dune.
It's a hill of sand.
It's a hill of sand. I can't wait for Metroid 4. And yeah, I mean, I will give you that the environment looks a little sparse as far as this. I do hope that it was more, we want to show off the animations of the bike than that's actual, or maybe just bad editing of jumping back and forth. Then hey, we made this huge open world that is. I hate when games do that. Troy, it's a valid point, right? Like where you create this huge world and you tell me you see that mountain over there, you can go there, but there's no reason to go there, and there's nothing over there, and it's not an interesting journey to get there and stuff. So I'm hoping it's not that. This is the game though that does mean I will likely have to buy a Switch 2 pretty soon here because it's coming out December 4th. Yes, if you don't have a Switch 2, this will also be released for the original Switch. No, I will not play it on the original Switch. I will be playing this on a Switch 2, or I won't be playing it on December 4th. One of those two things will happen. Yeah, beautiful areas with nothing in between. Yeah, I hope it's not that. I give it a little bit of a, benefit of the doubt that maybe this was cut together specifically to show bike animations more than show off the environment.
Yeah, I'm not judging it too hard because this is all I've seen of it. So, waiting to see more as they get closer to release date.
You're telling me you don't want to push the original Switch hardware, to the max by showing you all that desert.
Oh, no, I don't want to push my eyes to the max to have to watch it in a lower resolution than it's actually available.
Okay.
Yod, what do you got next for us? And Havoc, we'll just keep Havoc on standby because I know he's going to want to chime in on your thoughts here.
Oh, Hades too?
Yeah. Oh, Havoc is a Hades nut. He's beaten both of them just like inside and out and continues to just still play him. Probably his two favorite games that have ever been released are Hades and Hades 2 at this point.
The art style is amazing, and it's coming to a form factor that I think is conducive to the gameplay. So why not? It looks great. Hopefully, it plays well on the Switch too.
It is one of those perfect play on your Steam Deck, play on your Nintendo Switch type games. On a flight or something like that. It's perfect for that.
Yeah, there's just some games that feel like they're made for handheld systems today, not like your old handheld systems, but today's handheld systems.
What's funny, Troy, is Havoc is primarily when he doesn't game he's never been crazy into gaming, but when he has gamed, it's predominantly been PC gaming. He'll watch console while we were growing up and everything, but World of Warcraft, stuff like that, WASD movement. With Hades, it's all been on his Steam Deck, and so he is convinced that anybody trying to play Hades with mouse and keyboard, he's like, they're faking it. There's no way. No, you can't do it. He's like, I can't wrap my head around it. No way.
I can see that. I can see that actually with this type of game.
Actually, Havoc says, I already have 98 hours in Hades 2, and it's still early access.
I was going to say, there's some people that on PC who have absolutely been playing the mess out of Hades 2, and obviously he's one of them.
Yeah.
He loves it. He loves it. All right. Troy, what else you got? You said there was one you wanted to comment about, or have we gotten to it yet?
That was Metroid.
Oh, okay, Metroid.
That was the one I was waiting for you to bring up. But
yeah,
I'll circle back to the Super Mario Galaxy movie. That one, I'm looking forward to that. The first movie surprised me, really. It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I had heard that it was pretty decent, but watching it, I was like, okay, this was actually really surprisingly good. I really thoroughly enjoyed the movie. So I'm looking forward to, another movie in that franchise.
I am going to go. This is not for me. I just had to bring it up. I don't know why, but Virtual Boy games will be coming to your Nintendo Switch online, and the expansion pack lineup in February 17th.
So I get them wanting to bring their entire library to be playable. I don't understand, since they obviously had to do something to the games to get them to play on Switch. I don't understand.
Not really, because all you need is a screen, and that's all the Switch is doing. Like, you can see that they're marketing this kind of faux Virtual Boy helmet that the Switch slides into. It's the lenses and the angles of the mirrors that make it stereoscopic and everything. Like, the screen itself, it's just display red image. And yeah, it'll be split, but we already did that with like the DS and stuff. So it's
right.
I don't think it's a huge ask of the Switch in any way, shape, or form, but
no,
it's just weird. Like, hey, this thing that failed dramatically because it was migraine-inducing red at all times. Let's make another one.
Yes, but no. My point is, I don't understand why they couldn't make an option on there for you to just play it without the accessory, because you can't play it without the accessory.
Would you really want to? Like,
if you want to play the games without having to stick your head into that stereoscopic thing, it's just.
I feel like that would hurt.
I mean, without the stereoscopic setup, it's essentially like your old classic Tiger handheld game systems, but in red.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I don't know if I'd want to play this.
Right.
I mean, I don't want to play it anyway. So
if you want the actual thing, it's $100 freaking bucks.
Yeah, and here's the other thing: like, you can. This was what I had, but apparently I didn't save it right, or I saved it somewhere that I don't have access to it. So I did clip the final kind of image in this trailer that's coming up, where they show you the headpiece.
Mm-hmm.
But just in case you don't want to buy this headpiece thing, they are making a cardboard one.
Which costs $25.
Right. Okay, so fine. You can just buy this thing. But if you look at this thing, Troy, and watch the trailer here as it comes up, if you look at it, you have to hold it to your head like this because you're playing with the Joy-Cons. The only reason the big plastic one works is because it is supporting the screen by itself, and so you can detach the Joy-Cons and hold them anywhere you want. When you look at the cardboard one, unless there's like a rubber band that straps this to your head that I can't see, in which case you now have your Switch 2 held to your face by cardboard and a rubber band, you have to hold the Joy-Cons like this. Like, look at that thing. Look at the image of him holding it up. Like, now imagine you have moved that right here so that you can play this thing. I don't know, man.
Yeah, no. That's
it
a no
seems
me,
like
dude.
such a weird feature. There was only 22 Virtual Boy games globally anyway, right? And 8 of those were Japan only. So you're talking about 14 games that were released outside of Japan.
Right, which is why I'm saying, who's going to pay $100 or $25 for that matter for the headpiece to get a headache for playing 18 games, 14 games, however much,
So 25 people around the world who bought one of these. And actually have nostalgia for it.
God damn it. I have a Virtual Boy.
24 other people around the world.
No, and I did not buy it as a collector. I bought it when it came out. Not on launch day. Not on launch day. It was one of those things where, like the Sega CD, right, where we were at KB Toys and it had been moved out from behind the counter and was marked at like $40 in a clearance bin. Please take this. And my dad did let me buy it, and we bought 1 or 2 games for like $8 a piece. I played the shit out of Mario Tennis on here. And I'm sure it's probably part of the reason I still wear glasses to this day.
I would not doubt it.
But yeah, I mean, if you want to get your Virtual Boy on, go for it. Yod, what else you got?
What else do I have? Sorry, I'm getting a headache just from looking at the red lines.
Dude, yeah.
We're at Stormlancers, yeah. It once again, just like with Hades and a lot of the other games that we've been talking about lately, the art style looks amazing. I love the fact that they're going back to like a cel-shaded, more animated look rather than the photorealistic stuff that a lot of other games are trying to go for. The gameplay looks like it's gonna be it's fun. You got your slight side scroller thing going on. Um, Playing with friends, also good. You know, it's just it looks pretty.
So, Yod, I venture, is this game look good if you can get a group? You can get
This one looks
Troy,
good.
Troy, you weren't on the show like 2 weeks ago. You were on last week, but not the week before, where Dom and Yod and I were talking about different games that were coming up or whatever. And it was like every game that Yod was bringing up, looks like a great game if you get a group of friends and just go play. Looks like a great game if you can just get a group of friends and go play. It's like Destiny. If you got a good group, you could go and have a good time. It's every single game. Looks like a good game if you can get a group.
With Destiny, you used to be able to have a good time if you had a group. Yeah, I'm not sure you can still do that even with a group.
There are challenges to that one right now.
Yeah.
Troy, do you have another one, or do you want? I can just jump to my last ones here.
No, I was just gonna say, if I was into the Switch economy there, and I'm sort of into that world, being able to get more Resident Evil content on stuff like that on something like the Switch 2 would excite me. But seeing as how I have PC and stuff, then I have whatever I want when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and Resident Evil Requiem is going to be available across the board. So
yeah,
when it comes out, looking forward to that one as well. I'm also looking forward to 2 remakes we got to see, one of which I'm showing you on the screen now. I'm sure we'll talk about more on Thursday's episode of the Relic Grind. That is Dragon Quest VII Reimagined, which looks fantastic. This was originally a PlayStation 1 RPG. And then the one that surprised me probably the most was Fatal Frame 2 is getting a remake. And again, this is not just on the Switch. This will be available on other platforms, but we're going to see Crimson Butterfly remake in 2026 as well. I love the Fatal Frame series. It's an often underappreciated survival horror game. And yeah, going around taking pictures. Are you familiar with it at all, Yod? Have you ever seen or played a Fatal Frame game?
I have not, but I remember hearing about it. I remember seeing trailers for it. But yeah, I never really got into it.
They're phenomenal. I can't wait. Can't wait for the remake. That'll be fantastic. One I'll stream here to be sure. Getting away from just the direct, though, I did want to take a look at what's coming throughout the rest of September and October and see, Troy, starting with you, let's see what you are most excited for on the release calendar.
Let me pull it up because I had some stuff, but I didn't have it pulled up in time. Jump to Yod first while I go back.
Go for it, Yod.
Oh, I gotta open the freaking thing.
You guys, we do a show here once a week.
So fast.
I sent you the notes 24 hours in advance.
Look, I've been working for 12 of those 24 hours.
I've got a slightly new setup going on here, okay?
Early access for the next Skate game begins supposedly today. I don't actually know if that happened. I'll have to go check, but that's definitely one I'm looking forward to. Silent Hill F, we talked about on a show or two ago, September 25th. Now, and then Final Fantasy Tactics, the remake coming out on the 30th.
Which
if we jump to
you shouldn't let Torchwick play unless he beats the original first.
Yeah, unless he gets the original.
Yeah.
Looking at October, though, I might have, that might be my month to buy the Switch, the Switch 2. Tales of Xillia Remastered on Halloween. That's definitely one that I'm interested in, along with Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D remakes. But I don't have to get those on day one. I enjoyed the Outer Worlds, but I'm probably not going to pick up the second one on launch day.
Yeah.
The only thing that I'm definitely picking up on launch day, and here we go, insert joke here at Mike's expense, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 on October 21st. Yes, it will come out on October 21st. Yod, shut up. Shut up.
You got an entire month.
I do have to let my oldest son know that for some, I have no idea how, but Jurassic World Evolution is getting a third game in that series. Honestly, I was amazed it got a second one.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I was surprised.
And then Pokemon Legends Z through A, I know a lot of people will be pumped for that. That's just not my bag, baby.
So,
are either of you ready now?
Speaking of trilogies, Little Nightmares 3.
Oh, look at him just chiming in with a segue like he knew exactly what was you dick. Go ahead.
Little Nightmares 3. The Little Nightmares series is fantastic on the Steam Deck. I love playing those games on the Steam Deck. So another one of those is more than welcome as far as I'm concerned. Because that's a great just sit on the couch and just chill and do some puzzle games. And there's there's little action sections in there, but it's a lot of puzzles, and the deep dark setting is really creepy, and I love the sort of cartoony vibe that it has with it. So
yeah, the art style is incredible.
Series. Yeah.
Yod?
I mean, tactics, obviously, because that is one of the older Final Fantasy games that I really remember sinking a lot of time into.
Yeah.
Especially doing things like getting Cloud.
Yeah, because you had to. You had to sink
you had to get Cloud. But it had to be like a specific day. You had to go visit Aerith, and then you had to go away, and you had to come back, and then you had to do something else. It was, yeah. And if you messed up, you had to go back to your previous save and try to do it all over again.
They did say that getting Cloud will be easier in the remake. And I know we've talked about this on the Relic Grind, but if you don't watch that show and you are curious, it is not the War of the Lions edition that was remade here. It was the original edition, just to make sure you know exactly which edition of the game you're getting.
Right. And I mean, it's great that they're making it easier, but I hope you don't make it too easy, because that was part of the fun.
Yeah. Let's cover some small things before we do games of the week. Borderlands 4 did make it out. Predictably, it was met with some reviews about its optimization, Troy. Imagine that.
Yeah, we was kind of a little worried about that with the big day one patch they were talking about, and how often are those really that successful?
Yeah, Steam reviews are mixed. A lot of them focusing on performance issues, crashing, stuff like that. Now, of course, on last week's show, we did review like all of Randy Pitchford's like 15 tweet thread about the performance and minimum specs and everything. But he is still getting lambasted, and he is being just as hypercritical coming back. In that long tweet thing that we read last week, somebody replied to him, or here's an idea, just an idea here: make your game look good without relying on AI upscaling.
Ooh,
to which Randy replied, to customers in a public space, code your own engine and show us how it's done, please. We'll be your customer when you pull it off. The people doing it now are clearly dumb and don't know what they're doing, and all the support and recommendations and code and architecture from the world's greatest hardware companies and tech companies working with the world's greatest real-time graphics engine coders don't know what you seem to know, /sarcasm.
Damn.
In typical Randy Pitchford fashion.
Right.
And he wonders why nobody likes him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not going to hurt Borderlands sales, right? They already posted some massive numbers from the first weekend of play. But there is a section of the audience that won't buy Borderlands as long as Randy Pitchford has anything to do with it. And you can't really blame him sometimes, right?
Right. I mean, but how? So I always have to wonder with the complaints and stuff like that, how many of them are legitimate? Okay, yeah, there's an issue with the game when you do this.
Well, that's funny you say that. Because gather round, Yod, for Mike's story time.
Yes.
I did not buy Borderlands 4, but my brother Lou did. And we're all on Steam Share. And I know Havoc is more into Borderlands than I am, but I enjoy a good looter shooter. You guys know that, and I've dabbled in the Borderlands series. So I'm gonna play Borderlands for the show, and I want to play it anyway. I may not like Randy, but I like Borderlands, and the team is more than just Randy.
Right.
And so I booted up, and I like the. I don't have the performance issues, at least not off the bat, that anybody's experiencing. To be fair, I do have a relatively high-end rig. So I wasn't really concerned about that going into it anyway. I like the opening movie. It had its usual charm and funny lines and things here and there. Picked a character. I went with Vex, the witch character, to mess around with her abilities. I go through the whole tutorial and stuff. I meet Claptrap, and away we go on our Borderlands adventure.
Okay.
Quest bug on the 5th quest.
Okay.
Quest number 5 or 4, somewhere in there. Claptrap needs me to meet him at an elevator that ends up being broken, and so he gives me directions to go find a glider. That's what's supposed to happen. What actually happened was Claptrap went to the elevator. My quest tracker and he's talking, and I can read it on the screen. The subtitles are on. And Claptrap's talking, and the quest marker is telling me to meet him at the elevator, and the tracker is telling me to meet him at the elevator, and I've killed everything, so I'm not in combat, and he is standing at the elevator, and I am standing at the elevator. The button for the elevator is broken. It's supposed to be, because he's going to go send me to get a glider instead of taking this fucking elevator. But we're just sitting there looking at each other like we're vault hunters, and we have no idea where the vault is. Like, nobody's talking. I'm just staring at Claptrap. And so I try going around and climbing up. I'm just trying anything to advance this quest. Like, is there something I can interact with? Anything. And I spend 15 minutes before I'm like, yeah, something's wrong. And so I exit the game and I come back in and it does it again. And I don't know what's going on, so I search to see if this is a known bug now at this point. Like, I'm searching Google and Twitter and everything. And I find somebody posted a YouTube video that is just how to fix Borderlands 4 Claptrap bug. And I'm like, wow, we're off to a swinging start. There's already a video. There's already... It only has like 300 views, but I'm one of them.
Yeah.
And the fix was to log out and then crash it full to desktop and then come back. I had just exited to the title screen. And so I did that. Sure enough, it fucking worked. But that's like 4 or 5 quests. I have not played for more than 2 hours. If you look at the Steam time, I'm sure it is less than 2 hours. And 10 to 15 of that was messing around with what is like the 5th quest in the game and a bug that clearly I'm not the only one hitting because somebody else made a fucking YouTube video about it already and how to fix it. I mean, the video could have been shorter. It could have just said, shut the game down and log back in. But, yeah.
They always got to draw that stuff out.
Yeah.
Them YouTube algorithms.
Yep. Yeah.
Got to get that view time.
Gotta get that endorsement.
When I'm not hitting bugs, it's Borderlands stupid fun, right? So far, again, very early in it. There's not a whole lot new, but it's very, very early. So I'm not going to give a review on the actual gameplay or story or new mechanics or new systems that they're playing with and stuff. But I'm killing things. I'm getting a lot of colored loot. The endorphins are going. And it's, purples, pick them up. It's doing what it's supposed to. Most of the time. But thank God for Family Share, because I would not have bought it yet. Borderlands is one of those games that I always wait until it's on sale. I even did that with Tiny Tina's Wonderland. I just buy all of those when they're on like a summer sale.
I bought Tiny Tina's on release for some reason. I don't know. It just seemed interesting, and I had a good time with it. But yeah, as far as the Borderlands series themselves, first time I ever played it was over at a friend's house on an Xbox, and I enjoyed it. But I've always waited for sales.
Was it the D&D angle of Tiny Tina that got you?
I
feel like that's what it was with you.
Probably so. I mean, it was still at the end of the day, it's still a Borderlands shooter, right? Like you're still playing
no
shooter,
doubt.
But yeah.
How about this? I want to get your take on a study over in the UK, research by Mumsnet, reporting through the Independent. UK website, UK news outlet, indicates that teenage boys in the UK ages 15 to 17 spend an average of 34 hours a week playing video games, surpassing 32 and a half hours that one would typically spend in school. The overall time children dedicate to gaming has risen to 20.4 hours a week from 16.8 hours last year, with a majority of parents expressing concerns about screen time and potential addiction. What do you think, Troy? More time in the games than in school, sorry.
There should be more time outside of school than in school. School shouldn't be your entire freaking life.
You can't do that. You can't.
I was gonna say the same thing.
So stupid. So dumb.
It just means that school is so stressful. You need more time to unwind than you spend in there.
I mean, can we just set aside right now that like the entire world basically sucks? And like, I don't blame anybody for seeking outlets through any hobby that isn't self-destructive or destructive to others. But there is such a thing as overindulgence, and maybe spending the same or greater amount of time playing video games as you are pursuing your education on a daily basis. Maybe that's not entirely the safest thing. Here's what really kind of pissed me off about the study, though. In the bullet points from The Independent, they say parents are advocating for increased preventative education in schools, with 91% supporting lessons on gaming harms and 83% on gambling dangers, ideally introduced at the primary school level. Over half of parents, 52%, have identified gambling-like features such as mystery and loot boxes within their children's games, despite most parents setting spending limits. And despite concerns, 96% of parents recognize the positive aspects of gaming, including stress reduction, digital literacy, and problem solving, with many supporting children's aspirations for professional esports careers. I don't have a problem with any of that, except don't put it on the teachers.
Okay. I was gonna say,
teachers have fucking enough to do, even when they're in a country that pays them relatively better than they get paid here in the United States.
Right.
If you have a problem with your children's screen time, that is your responsibility as a parent to fix.
Problem. Yes.
Right. And I didn't want to say, I don't have kids, so I didn't feel like it was really my place to say it. But Mike, you have kids, and
And we limited, as they were growing up, we had, and I'm not going to go through all the different rules when it came to screens or things like that, but none of my kids were allowed social media accounts at all until they were at least 13. And then once they were 13, my wife and I were friended on that account, and we had the names and the password of the account to get in so that you could not make anything private from us because we were your friends.
Right.
And then their screen time was limited to 1 to 2 hours per day, depending on the day of the week. If they had school the next day, it was 1. And that included watching television, watching something, playing a video game, messing with your iPad. Like, there was no, you get the Xbox on the TV for an hour and then you can go do the iPad. No, we limited. And did we stick to 1 hour and 2 hours every single day? No, of course not. But that was the expectation, right? It's like their bedtime is 8 o'clock, and maybe more often than not, they're going to bed at 8:30, right?
But that's your job to do for your kids.
Yeah, it's not it's not the teacher's job to do that.
Right.
My perspective is, who the hell am I to judge? When I'm not at work and I'm not sleeping, I'm on my screen. I'm sitting in front of my computer. Now, I'm not always gaming. I'm watching YouTube videos. I'm now, trying to render out 3D printing models and 3D printing and doing all kinds of different stuff.
You dick, by the way, I got a random Facebook group recommendation from you.
Yes, sir. That's my new Facebook page.
Is that yours personally? Because I didn't join it yet. I wanted to talk to you about what it was first.
That's me. That's literally me.
Okay. Then I will go ahead and accept your
the TB invite. The TB 3D Forge is literally Troy Blackburn.
Okay, then I will go ahead and accept, because I was like, what the hell is he doing?
Now after you join my group, I'll start sending you random invites to other 3D printing groups. That way I can really rub it in that you need to get one.
Oh, don't do it, man. I did look at the bamboos like the day after we talked about them.
Yeah, I talked to my wife about it too, and she's like, where are we going to put all these things? We're going to need an entire other house to put these things in.
Hey, we have another video game sale. An untouched for nearly 40 years Donkey Kong video game has sold for $371,000. The previous record for the title was $72,000. This is from a collectibles report. A one-of-a-kind first production gloss sticker. That's when we talk about NES games that are sealed, there are a couple of variants of those depending on things like whether the hanger tab, because they used to be just put on pegboards. They weren't like in slotty things like they are today. Right. If those were stuck to the cellophane on the outside, or if they were part of the box, like they're different versions of sealed NES games is what I'm getting at here. This is the gloss sticker sealed copy of the 1986 NES video game Donkey Kong, the original, sold for $370,880 at Golden Auctions on Saturday night. Grain of salt these, right? Because we did have during the COVID era that whole like self-generated bubble between the auction house and the people that were doing the rating. This seems to be a lot more on the legit side of things, but always take it with a grain of salt. And if you're curious, it was water graded at 9.6 A double plus. It was traded in to a video game store untouched, along with a copy of Donkey Kong Jr. And they weren't sure if it was real or valuable, so they had it graded and are now $300,000 richer.
Wow.
Speechless.
Wow. Yeah.
Some of the things I wish that I had when I was a kid, I look back now, I look on eBay, and when you see them in pristine condition, how much they're freaking worth. I'm like, I've got one of those, but it's like in pieces at my mama's house somewhere. And her grandbabies have been playing with it for the past, 30 years. And
it's got marks on it in the shape of my baby teeth.
So and I'm just like, man, young me was rough on some toys, and that's too bad.
Yep. Last up here, and Troy, this is going to hit you and I probably more than it will Yod, because you and I spent a fair amount of time at MMO Bomb covering the IPs owned by Phoenix Labs. The two most generally known ones are Dauntless, the free-to-play monster hunting game, and Fae Farm, which is kind of a cozy adventure game, co-op adventure game. Well, Phoenix Labs, again, reported on MMO Bomb throughout the last 2 years here, has basically just been in a slow collapse, has been sold and then bought itself back and then had more financial troubles and got sold again. They tried to reboot Dauntless. Troy and I had a blast talking about how awful that reboot was. The internet hated it. That game is dead. Its servers died in May. Fae Farm, which seemed to maybe be able to survive this, was not going to survive it as far as online services. They shut down earlier this month. You could still play it offline, but you couldn't play the online multiplayer servers anymore. However, they could be coming back. An experienced collective of video game leaders have actually snapped up the IP rights to Fae Farm, and the group says it plans to ensure the game's enchanting online experience continues to flourish. They've acquired the rights to both Fae Farm and the ongoing IP concerns, so things developed in the future, and you can look forward to exciting future announcements that will add even more magic to their Azoria, not Eorzea, Azoria adventure. And if you're curious who's part of that collective, it's Gambit Digital, Game Cloud Network, Pure Wonder Interactive, and Fatty Acid. Gambit Digital is a Montreal, Canada company. Game Cloud says it's on a mission to create the world's largest brand engagement network, so they're probably going to be more on like the marketing side of things. But yeah, I'm glad that this game survives, because Phoenix Labs, wow, that went south so fast when they were bought. Remember when I reported on it, Troy, they weren't allowed to tell who had bought them, and it ended up being a crypto company. right? And the crypto company didn't want them to publicize the fact that they were now owned by a crypto company. And then they did the Dauntless revamp that crammed a bunch of monetization into the thing. Surprise, surprise. None of it crypto, but a lot more monetization. And then they just murdered the game. Like it was awful. Just go search Dauntless on MMO Bomb. You'll see all the fun articles that Troy and I wrote over the years. But I am happy for Fae Farm.
Dauntless for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, for about a week. I don't know when it was, but I did play it for a little bit, and it was not fun. I did not enjoy that.
Yeah, I'm glad Fae Farm survives though, Troy. That was the one that I was kind of like, that'll be sad to see that go.
Yeah, it would have been sad to see it go. It's a charming little game, but yeah, Dauntless was one of those where it's like, trying to cash in on sort of the Monster Hunter vibes, but you look at something like Marvel Rivals.
I mean, it actually came out before Monster Hunter, if you remember, like way back. Yeah.
Yeah. But you look at something like Marvel Rivals, who tries to take advantage of something like Overwatch, and it happened to land in a good window where Overwatch was kind of in a bad spot.
Yeah.
You look at Dauntless, and you're like, well, then Monster Hunter World.
Yeah.
You got, why eat hamburgers when you've got the filet mignon over here of what everybody thinks of when they think of that genre of games. They weren't looking for alternatives. They were looking for more of what they wanted, which was Monster Hunter and Monster Hunter World type games.
Yep. But Fae Farm lives on.
Before Monster Hunter Worlds came out, it did have other games. So there was an IP there. So there was history where Dauntless had to build actual story.
Havoc in chat says we have Monster Hunter at home. Can we get Monster Hunter? We have Monster Hunter at home. Monster Hunter at home equals Dauntless.
Oh my god, that's great. That's great.
Time for games of the week. Week is the way we end every episode of Gaming Gumbo here. It's where each one of us on the panel is going to give you a recommendation. Could be a video game, board game, card game, mobile game, something we've played in the past or playing now or haven't played at all but think you should check out. And when you're commenting about all your favorite topics on today's show, let us know in the comments who recommended the best game and you recommend one for yourself. I'm going to keep mine easy. I'm going to go Borderlands 4. So far, again, I reserve the right to change my mind on this one as I get a few more hours into it. But if you're looking for more Borderlands, it is more Borderlands. And if you get a quest bug, shut it down and boot it back up.
All the way.
All the way. Troy, go ahead.
I'm going to recommend Pagan Fate of Roanoke. It is a 2-player game where one of you is a witch hiding amongst the villagers, and the other is a witch hunter trying to snuff out and find clues as to who is the witch. And it's played out with there's a row of cards in the middle of the villagers, and you're playing different tokens and things and cards out of your hand. You've got your board in front of you, you have actions you can do, and it's sort of a social deduction game for 2 players where you're trying to figure out which one of the characters that the other player who's playing the witch has chosen as their sort of representative, and who's working for the witch, and who on the villagers on your side could help you. So it's a fun 2-player game if you're looking something for just you and a friend.
Havoc recommending that if you experience Borderlands 4 bugs, quit the game, power off the PC, turn power off to the house. And then reboot everything.
Completely disconnect.
And then reboot everything. Go ahead, Yod.
Go play some Hades.
Yeah, fair enough.
Go play some Hades.
That's going to do it for our show here today. Remember, we're off for the next 2 weeks for Gaming Gumbo, so we'll see you for another GG on October 7th. But we will have the Relic Grind this Thursday, 2 days from now, as usual. Until next time, Yod, where can everybody find you? Now, see, on the new overlay, I did not put the blue bird on there.
Ooh, yes.
I just put the @ and then everybody can tell everybody what they're actually adding.
Yes, at most everywhere except for Twitter.
Troy.
You can check me out on Twitter at NoobFridge, on Facebook at NoobFridge. I've been posting some stuff on Facebook again, sharing the shows we're doing and stuff like that, and some other work that I've been doing outside of there. And check out TB3D Forge.
I knew it was coming.
Baby.
I'm Mike Byrne. You can follow me everywhere at MagicMan1, but more importantly, follow at RC Radio. That way you'll know when we're going live with the podcast. Final Fantasy Live, local trading card gameplay. and so much more. Stay safe. We'll see you on the servers.